radiation. And this is a different concept. This actually I will take a separate class on this. The radiation actually, I'll give you an idea what is a radiation. Now, in both of these cases, whatever we have discussed, one is the conduction, another is the convection. In both these cases, if you notice, we were talking about the particles which are directly in touch with it. That is, in the first case, actually, the heat is getting transferred to the adjacent particle which is direct touch with it. And in the second case, actually, the heated particle is directly moved from that location to another location and it is carrying the heat along with it. In the third case, actually, there is no particle movement, there is no in-touch movement, but still actually there is a heat transfer. There is just the heat transfer is there without moving actually the particles. So this is a special case. Suppose actually, if you take this particular region and let us say this is the sky, and then actually the sun is located at this particular location and this is the sun, and then actually this is the ground, and on the ground actually, so this is the earth ground. Now here actually, if you notice, there is one large region of space where there is completely vacuum. So this vacuum is there in between. So on this vacuum, if you notice, the sun is actually producing heat. And this hotness actually we are feeling as a body on the ground itself. So this hotness actually we are feeling on the ground. And then actually, if you notice, there is a vacuum in between. Obviously, there is no direct touch particles from the sun and the earth. And then there is no movement of the particles from the sun to the earth. Then actually how the heat is getting transferred. Because actually in the summer seasons, actually we do feel hotness, right? Obviously, right? And why actually it is coming from this location to this location, even though there is a vacuum in between. This is very, very important. So here actually the methodology of the heat transfer is common, not only the wave optics, whatever we study, not only the electromagnetic signals, whatever we study as part of the communication system, every particles are where there is a vacuum, the transfer of the energy is happening only due to the electromagnetic radiation. So this is the electromagnetic radiation. So electromagnetic radiation. So this is the mode of transfer of the heat. Now, what is this electromagnetic radiation at all? Because actually, electromagnetic radiation doesn't need any particle. Another location. So this is very important to understand. Right? So if you try to correlate the same thing, whatever we are using in the case of electrical circuits, where the Ohm's law states that V is equal to IR, and V is nothing but the potential difference. The potential difference is correlated to the temperature difference. And the area of cross section is the area of cross section here, and L is nothing but L here, and K is nothing but the K here, and H is nothing but a current. So we can state this equation as heat current. Heat current is nothing but heat energy transfer. Because current is always stated as the flow of electrons. Here the flow of energy. So heat energy flow. That is the heat value. Now the potential difference is responsible for conducting the electrons from one location to another location. So here the temperature difference is responsible in moving the heat energy from one location to another location. So obviously this is the potential difference, and this is analogous to temperature difference. So temperature difference is analogous to the potential difference, and then actually this K is nothing but conductivity. So in the case of electrical circuits, this is the same thing we call as the conductivity of electrons, now the conductivity of heat. But exactly we are using the same formula. So if you try to understand this, because there is one complicated derivation, and that actually in the textbook actually it was explained very, very complicatedly, but that is far easier than the textbook what it explains, right? So here actually I will give you one particular statement. See this, there is one particular body here and there is one rod, and this rod is having an area of cross section of A and the length of L, and there is one more rod which is exactly in touch with it, and this is also having an area of cross section of A, and this is also having a length of L. But this body is made of copper and this body is made of silver. Now there is a temperature of TA is maintained here. There is a temperature of TB is maintained here. Then here actually there are two different bodies, and the conductivity of this one is going to be of K1 and the conductivity of this body is of K2. Then actually if you want to calculate the heat transfer, how do you consider this K1 and K2? This is a peculiar problem, because actually if you know that actually, suppose if you know the TA value and TB value and there is only one body, and if you know the area of cross section and if you know the L value, then you can easily apply H is equal to K times of A by L into TA minus TB is the direct answer there, right? But what if there are two different bodies are there? Now you need to calculate the equivalent conductance, conductivity of the two bodies together. Right? So of the two bodies together, actually we need to calculate the conductivity. Now here actually this conductivity is K1 and this conductivity of K2. Then actually you can state that the equivalent conductivity. So resistance actually, if it is connected in the series, this is R1 and this is R2. And the equivalent resistance is going to be of R1 plus R2. But if it is resistance, but what if it is given in terms of the conductance, meaning 1 by R1 and 1 by R2 are nothing but K1 and K2. So that is the meaning of it. So the inverse of the resistance is called as the conductivity. Hence actually here actually R is equal to R1 plus R2. The equivalent resistance is R and the equivalent conductance is of K. Then actually R is equal to 1 by K or K is equal to 1 by R. So this R can be replaced with 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. Obviously 1 by K is equal to K1 plus K2 by K1 K2, or K value, which is the equivalent conductance of this entire body, is going to be of K1 K2 by K1 plus K2. This is the equivalent conductance. As long as the area of cross section is same for the bodies and the length is same for both the bodies. So you can easily calculate, and then actually you can straight away apply the H is nothing but the heat transfer between the two bodies, that is TA to TB direct transfer, even though we have two different bodies in between. Then the value you need to consider is the same area of cross section A and the same length L, and the equivalent conductance is given by this formula. And then actually you need to calculate, this is TA minus TB, but this L value is of 2 times, because this is L for us, this is L for us, the entire length is going to be of 2L, but the area of cross section is only 1 across. So A by 2L times of K into TA minus TB, where K is given by K1 K2 by K1 plus K2, where the two bodies are having the same area of cross section and the same length, but made of two different materials. The equivalent conductance can be calculated as if like the two different resistances connected in parallel, or two different conductances are connected in series. So this is conductances connected in series, meaning 1 by K1 and 1 by K2 are in series. So 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. Got it? Right? So that's exactly the problem. Many people feel that actually K1 plus K2 by 2, which is not correct. So this is the methodology that you need to follow. If there are one more body that is connected, let us say, so let us say with the same area of cross section, there is one more body with the same length L, let us say, then the way you need to calculate the entire body conductance is 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2 plus 1 by K3. And that way actually you will be getting the value of 1 by K, not the K. And then actually from there you can calculate the K value and you can substitute it here. But the L value becomes 3 times of the L, because this is 1 L, this is 1 L, and this is another L. Got it? Any questions on this? Fine. Okay. So I hope you understood well. In the next class, actually, I will derive the equivalent conductance if different areas of cross sections are there and different lengths are there. Then how to calculate it. That actually I am going to take it up in the next class. Yeah, that's all for today.